Hi Threaders, it's me Cherie of My Daily Threads, and I'm here to do a really quick tutorial on the pants that you saw on my blog last week with the split front. Everyone was asking about how to get that, how to get a clean line. It's really simple. I'm just going to go over it really quickly and show you how to get that done. First, I'm going to tell you just a few things, really minimal, that you'll need to create this look, okay? First, you're going to need, of course, your trusty yardstick. Okay, because you need to make some long lines like the grain line on the pants pattern. You're going to need a clear ruler. You're going to need a pair of paper scissors. Please don't use your fabric scissors. Paper scissors. Of course, you're going to need some paper weights, okay? Some pattern paper. If you don't have actual blue dot, we call it blue dot paper back in school. If you don't have this type of paper, any type of paper that you can transfer your pattern onto will work fine, okay? And of course, you're going to need some commercial pattern of your choice, whatever that choice is, okay? I used my own personal Nina Ramel collection pattern, but I'm going to show you how to use a commercial pattern because I just felt like it would be easier. Not everyone knows how to draft a pants pattern, so if I give you instructions on how to do this, regardless of whether you draft or don't, you'll get the picture and you'll know what to do, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. I am going to turn the camera so I can focus it directly on the table and take me out of the shot so that you can actually get a close-up of how to perform this tutorial, okay? We'll be right back. Okay, Threaders, we are back. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I got a couple of pieces here. We're going to go one step at a time and knock this out real quick. This will not be a long tutorial. Again, I am not sewing in this tutorial. I have other tutorials to shoot tonight, and it is about 10 o'clock in the evening. So guess what? I cannot sew right now. I need to get these things knocked out and keep it moving. So remember, I told you you're going to need your commercial pattern piece, right? So you have your commercial pattern piece. The great thing about using a commercial pattern piece, if you are not a pattern drafter, you don't know how to draft them, is your markings are already on the pattern piece, which makes it easy to transfer onto another piece of paper and to actually make your style lines, okay? And your split, to me, I call it a style line because that's basically what it is. Style line, okay? I'm creating another style and I'm creating different lines in a pattern, okay? So on every commercial pattern, I'm telling you, I have not seen a commercial pattern that does not have these markings. They will all have a straight grain line, okay? They will also have a shorten and lengthen line, usually in two areas, okay? Haven't ever seen a pants pattern, commercial pants pattern, that does not have these things, okay? So you don't have to worry, they will be there. The good thing is, usually that grain line is going to fall right there in the middle, okay? Especially with Burda. Burda patterns are really great for that, which is why I picked a Burda pattern to kind of show you. And it's right on that grain line. It goes right down the middle of the pants, and you can just draw that in and extend it on your paper that you cut out. So you're going to take your commercial pattern. You're going to lay it on top of more paper. You are going to trace it out, and you're going to make the markings on the pattern paper. You're going to transfer from your commercial pattern onto your actual paper. My fan is on, guys, sorry. So it's kind of blowing things around. And you're going to transfer your markings onto that paper, okay? That's the important thing. Now, between the shorten and the lengthen lines, the two lines, okay, that's usually a great marker for your split. The only difference is you may want it to extend a little longer. So I would say definitely go with the top line of the short and lengthen, transfer that, and then measure on your own body how far from this line you want to go down, okay? And this is your crotch line here, okay? So this is your crotch line. Whoops, sorry about that. This is your crotch line. You're going to go down to that first marking here, okay? You'll know on your body how far that is by measuring with your tape measure on your pattern, and then transferring that to how long it is on your actual body, and then saying, okay, so from there I want to go down maybe 15-20 inches more. Whatever that is, make another marking, another line onto your pattern, and that is going to be the opening markings for your pattern that you just transferred, okay? So this is my Nina Ramel collection pattern, okay? And so what I decided was I just measured from my crotch down how far I felt comfortable with my first marking. And then I said, okay, well, I'm thinking if when I measured on my own body, just down the front of my leg, yeah, I like below my knee about 3-4 inches more. All right, cool. So this is where my knee would fall. And I said, okay, let's go down like 4 more inches. So that's what I did. So you'll see these two markings, and I put double lines here just to show you the difference and where they would be. Okay, so this is the top marking and this is the bottom. All right, so once you make all your markings on your paper and you're ready to go, guess what? You're going to cut all the way down the straight grain line. Okay, now that grain line is not in the middle, or you're not sure what's going on, I would definitely suggest taking your ruler, okay, and going to first the widest part of the pattern, making a cross here. That would be 14, so the middle would be 7. All right, going down a little bit further, saying, okay, where's another one? All right, that's 12, so down the middle would be 6. All right, and keep making your crosses and go all the way down, making sure that you are right in the middle of whatever measurement you're taking. Make crosses all the way down, and then you will know, guess what? You are right in the center of your pants. All right, as you can see, the Nina Ramel collection is right on target. All right, so you're going to have your 2 markings of your leg opening. Here they are for the Nina Ramel collection. If you're on a commercial pattern where the lengthen and shorten 2 lines were, and you can drop it, I would suggest dropping it maybe another 2 to 3 inches as well. I would definitely suggest that. But you decide whether or not what's good for you or what's cool for you. Okay? Once you do that, again, you're going to cut all the way down, separating your 2 pattern pieces. All right? Here we go. The Nina Ramel collection pattern piece is cut. All right, and I have my markings also transferred on this piece of paper. Okay, now I'm going to take this away and I'm going to show you something here that is very important, because I don't want you to be angry with me if your pants don't turn out right. What thing you need to do here is, guess what? You have separated your pattern pieces. Boop. They're separated, okay? Crotch, side seam. All right, got it? Center, the inseam, side seam, okay? You separated your pattern piece. What you have to recognize is that you need seam allowance in the center on both pieces. If you don't do this, your pants are going to gather, they're going to bunch, they're not going to fit right. It's going to be pulling the back pants piece towards the front and going towards the middle like that. It's going to bunch, gather between your legs. It's going to look crazy. It will not work that way, okay? Do not forget, both pieces here, you need to add seam allowance, either 5/8 to 1/2 inch, whichever you like, whichever you choose or you're used to sewing with. Put that on both pieces, okay? Both pieces. Then you're going to take this the paper that you've transferred and added your seam allowance to. You are going to lay it on your fabric, cut it out, transfer your markings with your chalk or your wax onto your fabric, the wrong side of your fabric, of course, okay? Once you have your fabric cut out, you are going to follow the instructions for the pattern after you put this piece together. Okay, because you remember, now you've added this slit in there, but you got to put it back together so that you can now follow the instructions for the actual commercial pattern on how to put your pants together. Okay, I already knew what I wanted to do, and when I drafted my pattern, I already knew how I was going to make it happen, so I just went and did what I need to do. I want you to understand, once you add that seam allowance, you now got to put these pants back together. So you are going to take your cut fabric. You're going to go from the top and you're going to sew all the way down to that first notch. You're going to back stitch here. Then you're going to go down. You're not going to sew down. You're going to just go down to here. Start sewing at your second notch mark of your opening, okay? And then continue to sew down. Remember, we are always sewing in the same direction. Don't sew here, then pull your pants up and then sew here. No, guess what? That fabric could shift and it will be off. You don't want to do that. So go from the waist down to the first notch, back stitch, keeping this portion open, okay? Keeping it open. And then you want to pick up where your second notch mark is, Start sewing, back stitch, and then go all the way to the bottom. Do that to both front pants pieces, okay? And what's going to happen is you are going to have this, all right? Your slit. Now, the great thing about this fabric is if you have a fabric like this, an African print, usually you don't have to line them because they look the same on the inside as well. Okay, and so once you do that, what I did was, because remember, you still have you haven't added your front to your back yet. So this is the perfect time. You haven't added the front piece to the back piece yet. All right, so this is the perfect time for you to actually do what you need to do. All right, so once you sew, you see that I've sewn down to here and I backstitch. So that sucker ain't going nowhere, okay? And then I backstitch here. So as you can see, that's some sturdy stitching right there. It's not going anywhere, okay? So once you do that, I also have my pants opening. Now just imagine this is just the pattern piece. It's not connected to the back yet. So for the sake of argument here, let's just go ahead and imagine that. All right, I took 2 style lines and just went all the way down so that on my seam allowance, when I turned it in, it stayed down. So it's really clean. There's no serging marks shown, okay? And then I just took stitches and I sewed all the way down both sides on the edge of the seam allowance here, okay? So as you can see, on the edge, I just sewed all the way down. And then I added my front to my back. Okay, and once I did that, I added my pockets to the pattern, because I love pockets. You know how I am about some pockets. Y'all who follow me know how I feel about my pockets. So then I added my pockets, and from then on, added this to the back pants leg. So the side seam, then my inseam, and then sew the 2 pieces together by putting them one inside the other. So that is basically all you need to do to create this pants. The slit front pants, okay? I hope that was easy. Okay, so you have your commercial pattern. You transferred it onto paper. You took those markings and you transferred it. You slid it right down the middle. You cut it, okay? You took those 2 pieces. You laid them on more pattern paper so that you could add your seam allowance, all right? Seam allowance, here. Seam allowance, okay? And then you took these 2 pieces, you laid them on fabric, and you cut them out. And then you sewed from the waist mark down to the first notch, back stitch, leaving this portion open, going to your second notch mark, back stitch, and sew down, okay? Then you took your sewing machine, because remember, this has not been connected to the back, so it's easy to work with that way, okay? You don't want to connect the legs together and then try and add more style lines. It'll be a nightmare, okay? And I guarantee you will be off. So what you want to do is do all of the style lines you want to do. You want to take 2 lines there, or you just want to draw a box design line around the actual split. You can do that as well as if you would like a slip pocket. You can do the same thing there. So that's pretty much it, threaders. That's all for this tutorial. That is how I achieved the split front pants. I've done them twice so far, and they've been really great. I am so pleased that you all enjoyed that little style line that I did in those pants. It's something that I did many, many years ago, and it was great then, and it's really funny to see how fashion kind of comes around again. It is always evolving, but it's still the same at the same time. So it's really great that that style has come back around again. I was able to utilize it again and to have everyone enjoy it 20 some odd years later. So I really thank you all for your likes and your comments. It's really great. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, that you get what you need to do to create that, and that you give it a try yourself. Until next time, loves, see you here on the YouTube channel and on the blog at www.mydailythreads.me. You can find me on YouTube under Cherie Williams, okay? Either of those places. You can find me on Facebook under My Daily Threads LLC. All of these places will have the video. You can check there. Until next time, loves, have a great day. Bye.